What was that? Hey, are you, is morning where you are then? You're just muted. I just need you to unmute yourself.
Okay, hi, good morning. Yes, it's morning and it's 11 a.m. here.
Amazing. So which part of the states are you in?
I'm in the Denver area, Denver, Colorado.
Right on,
So, yeah.
right on.
And
So
you're
did
in
you,
BC?
yeah, I'm in BC in the
I,
Okanagan, which is really nice.
nice.
Have you ever been up here?
I have not, but I want to so bad.
It's a good place. Yeah, it's semi-arid, which I really love. It's not common for Canada to have semi-arid places, so it's kind of a unique ecosystem that way. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, very good. So, did you have a chance to join us at the 3-day event that we just did?
I did the 3-day event with you, yes.
Okay, good. And tell me what your thoughts were about it. What were some takeaways that you had?
Well, actually, I don't know who else spoke. I don't know if anyone else spoke, but we spoke at the end
Oh,
of,
yeah, we spoke on the end of the last day. Oh, I'm sorry.
right. It's all
Maybe it
right.
was the
I know you
glasses.
have
You
a
got,
lot of people, so yes,
yeah.
and I know I'm in a sunnier place and my glasses are going dark and
Oh,
this is a
yeah.
different house than where I did the class, but yeah.
Oh,
So
right on.
I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I'm sure that what you bring to the table has lots of value. So um,
Amazing.
my biggest concern is that I won't be able to afford the class. That's a big concern right now. So tell me
Right.
about tell me about what you got going on.
Okay, okay. Um, so let's do a little let me just know a little bit more about your practice here so that I understand a little bit more what you're looking for, and
Okay.
then we can go from there.
All right. Well, I've been a massage therapist for 29 years. Um, I had a fairly thriving practice in Colorado until about 2019 when I had to take care of my mom. So my practice, you know how that works, but practice went down a little bit and then she passed away. And in 2020, um, I was diagnosed with breast cancer and then the world shut down. And so I could not practice because I did have surgery. I had to take 3 months off for that anyway. So by the time I came back, people still didn't want to come back because of COVID. So my practice has never rebounded. And I thought, well, if it's low anyway, I want to try something else. So I moved to the southern portion of New Mexico, right above Texas, and it was not a good fit for me. So I returned to Colorado, but I am in the business now of trying to rebuild my practice. And quite honestly, 29 years, I've gone through several burnouts, and I'm in a burnout stage again, trying to find new purpose and meaning into what I do. And since I'm 4 years past the mastectomy and the healing, I thought that finally it could be time for me to serve this community since I have an understanding of this community.
Amazing. I love it. So beautiful. Yeah. And yeah, so it sounds like you've been through a few dips, a few kind of ups and downs over the years. Like you obviously still love practicing because you've been in there for almost 30 years, except you're in a low ebb at the moment where your energy is low and you're still interested in serving the world. You still want to be bringing your skills forward, but it sounds like you want to do it in a different way than you've done before and with a different population than what you've done before. Is that right?
I would like to continue to serve the people that I am currently serving. Like I said, that's a pretty small amount right now. I do enjoy doing general massage. Uh, I do cranial sacral therapy. I do some orthobiotomy. I consider myself a deep tissue therapist. I do ashiatsu, which is the overhead bars where you massage with your feet. So, and do stones and that kind of thing. So I enjoy some variety, but I think this is an underserved population. Clearly I didn't get any, but I think that might have been because of 2020 more than anything else. And even when I was talking to the medical people, I have a Kaiser insurance, and they said, wow, we just lost our massage therapist who does post mastectomy massage. So actually, after our first day, reached out to the social work team there and said, hey, are you still interested in this? And they said, it's funny, we just had a call about this yesterday. And I said, well, I'm looking into learning this, and I would be interested in helping serve this community through Kaiser. So I do have a couple places where I have some leads, I guess, more than anything. So this would add new purpose to my career.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it sounds like it's a really good fit. It sounds like it's something that's needed in your area. You've got organizations that are serving this population that you've got some connections with, so that you'll be able to kind of make moves with a greater amount of ease, which is awesome. And yeah, it sounds like you're quite a flexible therapist. You've got a variety of different ways of approaching the body. So I would interpret that to be like you're curious and you like to experiment with different ways of working with people, and keeps it fresh, keeps it kind of interesting. Is
Right.
that right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, amazing. And then what would you say if you were to project yourself forward a year from now, what would be your ideal scenario?
I would like to do at least 50% of my practice helping mastectomy and gender affirming and reduction and augmentation clients. I think that is really, I like what you're offering. I think that you've done a
Amazing.
beautiful job putting this together. And then the other half, or maybe even less than the other half, I would like to continue doing what I currently do.
Hey, amazing. Yeah, there's definitely room to bring in those people. And if you're willing to work with all the populations that are getting breast and chest surgery, then 50% is a really definitely doable goal, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
I used to work for the state of Colorado in their public health department, and this was in the 1980s, so 1987. And I talked to people about sexually transmitted diseases and HIV. So I also interviewed people, make sure they got treatment. And of course, with the HIV community at that point in time, it was a much different picture. It was a much sadder picture. But I interviewed lots of people who had Trinidad, Colorado was considered the sex change capital of at least the United States, possibly the world during that time. And so I spoke with a number of people who were on different parts of that journey for gender affirming care. So I'm good with that. I'm pretty non-judgmental, and I'm pretty compassionate about all that. So that would be an easy transition for me. I know it's, now 30 years later, but I don't think those skills are obsolete at this point.
I don't think so either. Yeah, and I think it's great because you'll be able to just, you know, bring that history, bring those skills from before in, and then just build on them and just, continue the journey like another arm on the spiral. Yeah,
Right.
I love it. So, what would you say your biggest gaps are between where you're at right now and where you would want to be a year from now?
Are we talking in general, or are we talking massage
Massage. Yeah.
modality specific? Well,
Um, Yeah, like thinking about you want 50% of your breast and chest clients, 50% general populace. You've got some knowledge that from your past that you want to bring forward. Where would you say your biggest gaps are?
probably the specifics that your course would offer.
Okay. So it's like the knowledge and the skills
Yeah,
from the
so
courses.
I massage my own chest. I don't massage a lot of women's chest because a lot of women just don't want that. And I understand the anatomy. A refresher is always nice. So your refresher was nice, because it's been a long time since I was in massage school. So I guess maybe, those and the specific modalities based on what kind of surgery and what kind of complications people had. When I had a lymph node biopsy before I had my general surgery, and I got cording, and nobody had even mentioned that to me as something that could happen. So mine actually, I was reaching for something in a high cabinet and the cords broke. So I was a little concerned, but when I called the team there, they're like, oh yeah, it sounds like it was cording, but it had never even been brought up as something that could happen. So I also, know about, like I also had, what's the name? Not lymphedema. I had some fluid retention.
Like a seroma?
Seromas, thank you. I had a seroma, so I didn't really know anything about that. I mean, it wasn't a horrible complication, but it was a little bit of something. So even though I don't have the most intense record with complications, I know that there are several, and it would be good to really know exactly what to do for each of those. And
Totally.
I do know some lymphatic drainage massage, but I am not a lymphedema expert by any stretch. I mean, I could make something up, but if you have a protocol that works for that, I'm all in.
Yeah. In terms of the lymphedema, we do cover it. I do cover lymphatic drainage. I do cover alternative pathways and what lymphedema is, the lymphatic system. But I always recommend if you want to get into full lymphatic drainage, my course doesn't yet have the full meal deal training. I touch on it definitely, but like if you wanted to do VODR level 3, that's a very comprehensive course. So I always recommend if you really want to get into lymphatic drainage, there's a couple of other courses that are further developed than mine at the moment. Mine, I really focus on the surgeries, on the complications. We touch on lymphedema, but it's very complex. So I give you enough skills to be able to do basic work with people, but there's definitely more advanced work that you can do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, great. So yeah, it sounds like for you, the knowledge and the skills of how to work with this population, understanding what's going on under the skin beyond your own experience. You've got, your own personal experience of what happened, and then being able to flesh out that experience and knowledge with all the other things that are in the courses, and understanding the complications as well, understanding, a greater understanding of the ones that you experience, but also the other ones that people can experience. So you've got a robust.
I know there are a lot more intense complications than I had.
Yeah, there's some pretty significant ones that people go through, and definitely trying to mitigate them and having them be much less than they could be, or just don't happen at all, is the ideal. And knowing how to do preventative care is the best care, really, if you can do it. Yeah, for sure. Okay, amazing. And so for you, do you feel like the whole academy where you have the 6 month experience is a better fit for you, or do you feel like the 6 day just sort of download the major information is better?
I think probably a longer period of time. I'm a learner. I'm a very kinesthetic learner, but sometimes it takes some time for me to get it into my being. I had a traumatic brain injury 20 years ago, and I don't retain information the same way I used to, unfortunately.
Right.
It's not important. I mean, it's important in how I learn, but I'm still able to learn. I'm just not quite as sharp as I used to be.
Yeah, fair. We all go through changes and they leave marks, so we have to adapt. Yeah. And that's what resiliency is all about. It's the adapting and working with what's there now and just continuing to move yourself forward in the ways that work. So, so for you then, knowing more about the academy, going into some more of the details about what the course entails, and then getting into the investment would be useful for you?
Yes, it would.
Okay. So I'm going to jump into that now. Now, some of these slides are going to be a repeat from the course that we just did, but it's got a lot more detail so that you understand more of the fine points of what's in the academy.
Okay.
So first of all, it is a 200-hour program, so it's pretty comprehensive. It's the most comprehensive training on the planet. I know there's nothing else that's at this degree.
Right.
It's very capable of moving you from beginner to skilled in 6 months. And it's very focused on the therapeutic breast, chest, and oncology massage. Everything's evidence informed, and the mentorship guidance is embedded with everything. So we've got our 3 pillars of learning and growth: the core curriculum, the supportive community, and the marketing and communications. I'll go into more of these in a little bit. So in the core curriculum, you've got 4 courses. So the foundations, this is your everything related to ethical and professional breast massage, so that you can set yourself up in a way which is totally legal and there's going to be no surprises. You understand the language for working with sensitive areas and sensitive populations, all the protocols for entering and exiting the treatment, understanding your draping, your charting, taking therapeutic images, all those things, stages of healing, techniques to use in acute, subacute, chronic. So it gets you really set up and very well organized to work with this population, and is the foundation for getting into level 1. So level 1 is where we dive into the 18 different types of breast and chest surgery. This is your mainly related to breast cancer. 13 of the surgeries are breast cancer, but also the gender affirmation and the elective breast surgery. Definitely the deep dive. If you're a person that's like, I love surgical videos, I love surgical images, this is a great course for you. If you're sensitive to it, I'd like to give you a heads up. There are lots of images about, what's happening when your skin is not attached to your body. Yeah.
Right. I went on YouTube and watched breast mastectomy surgeries when I was contemplating having surgery. So I was told not to do that, of course, but I did it anyways because I like to know.
Okay. Amazing. You will know after these courses. You will absolutely know. And then level 2 is where we get into the post-op complications. So seroma and cording, of course, hematomas, breast implant illness, capsular contracture, lymphedema, like there's a whole bunch of them that we go into.
Right.
So these 3 courses, you get your accreditation from the NCBTMB as the comprehensive training for breast, chest, and oncology massage. And then the 4th course is the integrative cancer care. This is very breast cancer specific. So this is about the different visible signs of breast cancer, so you can recognize it in your patients, understanding the different stages and grades, biopsies, different diagnostic procedures, and then I'm not going to say the meat and potatoes, but the most practical, applicable part is how to work with people going through chemo and radiation.
Okay.
Yeah. So these courses happen every month. There's material that you're doing every month. And then as you're doing your practice people, you're practicing on them based on the material that you're learning at the time. So you can learn and apply it, and that helps you integrate it. So the whole focus of this course is so that you're retaining the information, you're integrating it, and you're applying it in the real world. Because, I used to do weekend courses and people were super inspired. They were like, these are amazing. But then, like, what do I do with this information? How do I actually get it out there? And how do I actually practice on people? And then sometimes the information would end up sitting on the shelf as a good idea. And that's not going to help this population if the information is sitting on a shelf. So the way we have it designed in the academy is very much related to learn, apply, integrate. Yeah. So this is the accreditation that we talked about, 39 CEUs.
Okay.
Now I'm a big believer in support. Oh, do you want me to go back?
Nope. Oh, yes. Hold on. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm a really big believer in support. I really think if you want to make some change, you want to move yourself forward, you need to have people in your corner. So we've got many ways of doing that in the program, 4 different levels. So you've got your mentorship. So you get guidance, you get you know, the education, the classes, and also feedback. Some of the feedback is in a group setting. Some of it's on one-on-one calls like we're doing right now. You've got your peer group, all educated, like-minded professionals. You can call on them. They've got great problem-solving abilities. You learn from each other in the class. And then we also connect you with accountability buddies, so you can have a deeper connection with a few people throughout the program. And that helps you stay on track, because when you're looking to make change, there's tasks and things that you have to do. And so to have an accountability buddy there to talk it through and celebrate with you when you do them, that just makes it more doable, makes everything more doable. And you form those deeper relationships with people when you're accountability buddies with them. And our private community, this is only for the Academy, not Facebook. So we've got many ways of support. We do want you to become the go-to person in your area so that you are serving your local clientele at a higher level. The treatments are more advanced and they're applicable to a wide range of clientele, not just this specific population, but it can definitely have some positive influence on your practice as a whole. And we also want you to build relationships with your local community. So we help you reach out to shops and support groups, associations, societies, doctors and surgeons. I know sometimes that's very intimidating. I know when I started this, I sat on it for quite some time. And my partner at the time was like, Erin, you can do this. And I was like, I'm just a massage therapist, they're a surgeon.
Yeah, I don't love the public speaking, but part of what I did at the health department was public speaking to different groups. So it's just a very dusty skill that I'd have to do some work to rebuild.
Brush off
But
those
yeah,
skills. Yeah.
brush
Well,
off,
you'll have opportunities to do that. And you'll be in an environment of people who are all kind of in the same realm where they're like, well, this is out of my comfort zone. This is stretching me a bit. But it's also very empowering when you do it and you realize, oh, I can do things I didn't know that I could do before.
right.
So none of this was in the program. I did allude to a lot of the templates that we have, but we have so many templates. If you don't have to reinvent the wheel, it's going to save you a ton of time and money and energy. So for your massage practice, we've got templates for online booking and charting, ways that you can reach out, scripts and images you can use to reach out to your community for your practice people, different tracking forms so that you can keep track of the people who are referring to you, practice clients, your weekly successes. Also not listed on here, but your community relations, so that you've got tables so you can keep all your community relations organized. We've got our marketing workshop so that you can really build your relationship with people. This is different. We've based it all around feminine marketing, which is very inclusive. It's very communicative. It's built on getting to know your clients and, you know, actually building relationships with them. So they can get to know you and know you're not a crazy person. All this work is legit and they are completely safe in your care. So building relationships, first of all, just learning how to talk to your ideal clients, how to recognize them, and then creating a welcome package so that you have someone books for you for breast massage, and then you can send out this welcome package. And it's all customizable. Everything that we do is customizable. So you can put your own brand colors on it, your own contact info, your own headshot, but everything else is laid out for you. The second workshop is using platforms, how to use the platforms for social media and newsletters. And then you're creating your brochures and your business cards. Same story. These are very customizable. And then the third workshop is how to create a social media calendar. So you've got it all pre-organized and pre-scheduled. You just sit down in one go, kind of organize your week or your month, however many times ahead you want to do. And then you pre-schedule it, and then you don't really have to worry about it, so that you're not throwing spaghetti at a wall and figuring out, oh, this one worked, this one didn't. I have no idea why. This way you get to kind of pre-organize it.
Okay.
And then we also have a digital technology training course so that you understand just a little bit more about Zoom and the different digital technology platforms we use in the program and also for your practice afterwards. So you can use the tracking forms and stuff.
Okay.
Some more templates. These I talked about here already: business cards, brochures, welcome package, flyers, and postcards. Practice bodies, weekly content calendars. Yeah. So emails and letters of introduction. This is important because if you want to get to know the other organizations in your area, then you need to be able to reach out. So we've got scripts for this, so you don't have to come up with all the material on your own. Doctors and surgeons, local businesses and services, and also templates for talks and presentations. So if you want to do a 20-minute talk or you want to do a 45-minute share circle, we've got an outline for you, so you don't have to come up with it all on your own.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. And a lot of people have said, who just graduated from the academy, like, without these, I would never have moved forward. Like this was so easy. And I remember the look of relief. It was just so amazing when we were talking about reaching out to the local services and doing a presentation, and some people's eyes started bugging out. And I was like, we've got templates for you. And they were like, oh, thank God. Make
Yeah,
it so
unfortunately, you
simple.
still have to do it. So yeah, there's that.
There is that. Yeah. So that's the part where you're stretching yourself and getting out of your comfort zone a little, which is good. You know, it's good for us to get out of our comfort zone. So broad strokes of the program. Every month you're doing your core curriculum. The classes are live. So you have a chance to learn, apply, and integrate, like we talked about before. And then every month you're also submitting a video of your treatment. So I actually get to see what you're doing. Your
Right.
person's confidentiality is totally intact.
Right.
There's no one else who sees the videos but me. It's all above board. But that way you're doing your session, and then I actually get
Hold on, you're breaking
to
up.
see, well, your different ways you could work with the scar tissue there, or, oh, I froze.
You did for
What
a
I was just
second.
saying was there is, okay, yeah. I can just give you actual feedback on your treatments so that it's not just the theory of like, I hope I'm doing this well, and you know,
Right.
she said this would be good, but I actually get to see you. And especially if you've been more oriented as a deep tissue therapist for most of your career, I mean, you've
Right.
got lots of modalities, which is great, but if that's been a mainstay, you know, maybe you're carrying more tension in your hands than you realize, or maybe your pace is quicker, or whatever it is that the feedback is, I can give it to you,
Right.
which is great.
Okay.
In terms of the guidance and the progression that happens over the course of the 6 months, we start you with sort of smaller ticket items, like getting your treatment space ready, being able to reach out to your practice bodies, your digital technology training, training for your marketing, for your online booking. And then a little bit later in the program, after you've had some time to learn and integrate and practice, then we get you to reach out to the local community and start creating your referral relationships. And you can start to charge for your treatments so that when you're in the program, you're actually making money from the people that you are practicing on. And then you graduate from the program with paying clientele, which is really helpful and really useful. So you're not just investing, but you're also receiving. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that we did that in massage school too, and I had clients who paid in tips, and those people fell off when I became a massage therapist because they didn't want to pay more than a tip fee. So do you find that it's different with this particular modality?
Yeah, I do, because the work is so specific and there's hardly any massage therapists who practice this.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's like just a regular massage therapist. People can go and see a regular massage therapist like most places.
Okay,
But
right.
this type of treatment, it's very targeted. We're not allowed to say specialized up here, but really it's specialized. And so people, they need to trust you. They build up trust, and then they're like, I just want to continue with you, because they can't just go see another therapist who can do this work.
Right.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. So in terms of the live classes, our core curriculum classes are 6 hours long.
Up, you froze. You're frozen.
You would
Hold
be
on, you're
11
frozen.
a.m. to 5 p.m.
Right,
on the Mondays that they're happening. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Am I good now?
You're good.
Um,
That fourth class day, the 16th, I have a class that starts, it's the last class of a series that I was doing that starts exactly at 5 p.m. So do they go long, or are you really good at being right on the money? At
I'm
least
very
for
good
that.
at being, yeah,
Okay,
I'm very good at being right on the money.
okay,
However, we do record the classes. So if something comes up and you're like, "Whoa, I missed a portion of it," then
go back.
you can refer back to the recording. So the material's not gone if you're
Right,
not there live. But we do have a, like, you have to be there for 85% of the classes. We have a, because you can't learn this material. I'm not comfortable with people learning this material only on a self-paced
right.
version. So all the transmissions are live. So you have to be there for the majority of the classes. But sometimes life comes up. Sometimes it's like, there's just other things that happen. We're together over 6 months. So um, that's the recordings are there so that if you need to, you can refer to them. And also if you want to go deeper and remind yourself of a class, you're like, oh, what was the difference between a tram flap
Okay, I get it.
and a DF flap again? Then I'm going to turn my video off. Maybe try turning your video off, and that might create a more stable connection than what we've got at the moment. Yeah. Sometimes the audio comes through better.
Yeah, this is kind of a bad internet spot where I am.
Right.
I mean,
But this is fine. You can still see my screen though, right?
I can see your screen, right? If it's
Yeah.
windy, which it is, then it's bad, and there are forest fires, so who knows what that messes
Oh,
up. So
yeah, for sure. You're not near any fires, are you? Like, are they
not
close to you?
near the fires, but it's Colorado, so every summer these days we have fires.
Yeah, same in the Okanagan.
Yeah.
Yeah, hot, dry area. So
Yeah, this is, I bet you
higher at
our
risk.
topography is similar because we're a semi-arid state too.
Right. Yeah. Most of the time I love the semi-arid state, except I'm not that fond of the forest fires. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so for you, yeah, 11 to 5 is your main. So 1 or 2 Mondays a month, you will have your core curriculum classes. The mentorship group calls, they're not the same Mondays. So for you, it would be from 2 to 3:30 Mountain Time. And those are the ones where we're helping you with your practice sessions. We're helping you with the strategies for reaching out to the community, you know, doing your marketing. Sort of, this is where you get to apply the information and talk about what you're doing.
Okay.
We do suggest you reserve about 8 hours a week for this. It is a 200-hour program, so you do have to reserve some time that you're going to put into it. One of the ways that we suggest doing it is on the weeks when you've got your core curriculum classes, then your other 2 hours, maybe that review or assessment or planning. On the weeks when you've got your 90-minute call, then maybe you're doing your practice sessions or you're actually reaching out, like physically going to the shops and services, that kind of thing. So it adds up. Generally speaking, about 8 hours a week, you can get everything done.
Okay.
You're thinking really 3 or 4 Mondays a month, depending on the month. Your biggest month is the first month. There's quite a lot that happens in September, and then yeah, it sort of settles down to 3 or 4 times a month that we meet live. There's a couple of Saturdays and one Sunday, so you just want to account for that. But by and large, Mondays are your day.
Okay.
Yeah, I do believe after finishing this program that it is appropriate to give yourself a raise because you've got advanced training with a very specific population. So you can, I think, safely raise your rate $20 an hour above what a generalist will charge. And so this is just a little vignette. If you were to do that, you were doing 5 clients a day, $100 more a day, 400 more a week, 1,600 more a month. And if you were to work 11 weeks a year, take a month off, you're still earning 17,500 more per year than you could do as a generalist. So you you have an opportunity to work in a way which saves you a lot of energy, a lot of wear and tear, and fill your pocketbook up more, which is probably appealing to everybody because butter's a lot more expensive than it used to be. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So do insurance companies, like medical insurance companies, uh, provide this kind of care? Do they cover this kind of care for their patients?
You have to look into what the insurance companies in your area will cover. Where we
Okay,
are, they will cover this under people's extended health
like,
as massage therapy.
right, okay,
Yeah. But you have a little bit of a different system in the States
yeah,
uh, because like everything is privatized. So, well, massage therapy, unfortunately for us, is not on the provincial system or
right,
available nationally under the healthcare system. So it's all private.
okay,
So people rely on their extended healthcare benefits
right.
to
We,
access
a
this
lot of
care.
times here, that's called a HSA, health savings account.
Ah, okay.
So,
HSA.
but not everybody has insurance that offers an HSA, so.
Right, right. I'm just going to make a note of that. HSA. Okay, cool. Always good to know. So one of the reasons why I love doing virtual because you just get to learn about how people do things in other areas.
Yes, well, United States healthcare sucks. So I'll just say that up front.
It's a
So
challenging system for sure.
it
Yeah,
is a challenging system for sure.
yeah. Okay, so this is Canadian funds. I do have a slide for the American equivalent.
Okay,
But basically, for Canadians, they're paying $800 a month for 6 months plus a one-time commitment deposit. So then the total is 5,300.
right,
But then if you are able to pay in full within 48 hours, you can save the $800 because you don't have to pay the commitment deposit. And then you can also save $300 on registration fees. And there's some bonuses. So if you are able to pay in full, you get a special 3-hour group session prior to the academy start. There's an extra video review, so you get more feedback on your practice sessions, and then a home care short course so that you have knowledge of how to help patients prepare and recover from surgery. So in the US amount, the one-time fee is 3,300, more or less. You know, there's a little bit of fluctuation every day with the exchange rate, so it may not be exactly this, but it will definitely be in this ballpark. If the monthly payments are for you, then it's 592 a month instead of 800, and the commitment deposit is 368 US instead of the Canadian 500. So the exchange rate is definitely in your favor
all right.
going US to Canada. Yeah.
Right, typically classes don't have taxes. Is that a Canadian thing, or is there something about taking a class from Canada and the United States that would add taxes?
We have to charge taxes. It's just part of our how we do it. Yeah, they're not exempt from taxes. Yeah.
All right, so it's if it was a one-time 3303, let's just say that the exchange rate makes it 3303, what are the taxes?
Um, let me just call that up. So 275. So for Canadians, the taxes are 275. So for US, it's approximately 200 US.
Okay. All right, so roughly 3,500 for it.
33, 35. Yeah, thinking about 35. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's kind of in the ballpark of what I thought this class would cost. Unfortunately, I'm still looking for ways to pay for it. I I made a call to my son's college investment program, and I don't think that I can use it for that. So I'm going to have to continue to look for a way to do that. How many spots do you still have available?
I still have 7 available. 3 people have signed up so far since the course.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not discounting the value of the class. I'm not telling you it's too expensive. I'm just telling you that I'm having to look for ways to get creative to pay for this.
I
So
understand. So how far are you, do you think?
$3,500.
Okay. So if money weren't an issue, what would be your response? Like if you had the
Oh, I
money
would
right
sign
now
up
sitting in
today.
your
Yeah, I
pocket?
would sign up today, right now,
Okay,
if money weren't an issue. So I just have to look and see if I can come up with a way to do it. And if I can't this time, then maybe I'll do it the next time you offer the class. I would like to do it this time because it would put me 6 months or more ahead
for
if I
sure.
didn't have to wait for another 6 months or so.
Absolutely.
But like
What
I
about the
said,
monthly payments? Are monthly payments better for you? Because then
monthly
you don't have to
payment,
come up with everything.
no, it won't make any difference. I mean, there's just a lot of spinning plates in my world right now. I did buy a house in New Mexico because I really thought I was going to stay there. So I've been trying to sell it. If my house sells, then I can pay for it, no problem. But so far, there's been very little interest. Um, so there's that. But, I have a couple other things that I can reach out to try, or I have some belongings that might be worth a few $1,000s. So if I can find a way to sell them on marketplace or something like that, then I can do it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but I just have to
So
figure it out.
yeah, there is an option if you wanted to do the full payment, you can put your commitment deposit down and then you can just do the rest in September if you feel like you want to secure your spot, or you just want to leave it and just be like, I'm going to pray to the gods I can get this all done. Which way do you want to go?
I cannot commit to anything right now. I'm really unfortunately taking care of some people that are not contributing financially, which is a whole other discussion. And so I cannot, if I committed to you, then I would have yet one more thing to worry about on my plate. And right now I already have enough things to worry about. So when do you need a commitment? I mean, obviously, if you get 7 more people before I get back to you, then I'm SOL. But when do you absolutely need me to have paid for it and be on, providing that there's a spot for me?
Well, we start on September the 14th, so everything has to be like organized and ready before the 14th.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be like well, really the 13th, because the day before
Okay.
would be the last possible day, provided that there's space. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All
And I
right.
loved what you said. Yeah, I loved what you said in your in the questions when you were booking the site. You were like, miracles can happen. You never know.
Yeah. Well,
So
I've
yeah,
had miracles in my life, so I understand they actually do happen.
I
It's
love
just
it.
right now I would need another one to make this happen.
Well, you never know. I mean, you're on a path for helping people. You're in a place of your own healing that you feel like now I'm able to reach out and help this population. It may come together in a way that at the moment, you're not sure how it would come together, but things do shift when you make your decision. I want to go forward with this. This feels like it's the right thing for me. And then sometimes life just reorganizes itself in a way it wouldn't have reorganized itself without making that decision. So it's
Yep.
possible. It sounds like you've got some options for being able to generate some cash flow for yourself.
Right.
So, yeah, it's not, from my perspective, it doesn't sound like an insurmountable issue, but it does sound like, you'd have to do some fandangling in order for it to happen. But sometimes that's the way that life is too, right? It's like, oh, I want to do this, and the way's not 100% straightforward, so I'm going to get creative with how this comes out. Yeah,
Right. All right.
yeah,
Well, then I will work on that. I have your contact information. I will get a hold of you um, just as soon as I know what I can do. Um,
amazing.
and if it doesn't work for this time, if the timing just doesn't work out, then hopefully by the time you start your next class, I will be able to do it. I
Yeah,
would very much like to do it. I think this would be an amazing addition to my offerings. So, and there isn't anything about how you've presented or anything on there that makes me say, no, I don't want to do this with you. I actually think that you're a goddess for putting this together. So,
oh, that's
um,
very kind. Thank you. I'm really glad that it resonates with you. And yeah, I mean, this work is so important to me. I feel like it's a part of my soul path, my soul development.
I believe it.
And yeah, and I feel like the divine just kind of reached down and was like, Erin, you're a good person for this. You can help move the needle forward. And so I was like getting the memo. And I remember earlier on when I was developing this, I just kept saying, I'm absolutely saying yes. I have no idea what I'm saying yes to, but I absolutely say yes. I'm going to help move the needle forward. And it's been such an amazing journey. And as a person of very high standards, I create excellent programs. I'm a very good instructor. I'm naturally a humble person, but I'm also able to say if I do something really well, I can recognize like I do something really well. And these courses are excellent.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So
I know that
if this
just from the intro class. So yeah, I know you're awesome. I know you're the real deal.
very nice. I appreciate that. Yeah, so I hope it works out for this September. That would be amazing. But if there's a little pause and it ends up being next year, timing is a thing, then that's all right too. But we've made contact, we've made a connection, and you feel like this is a good route forward for you. So the door is open. We just have to decide which is the right door for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you also happen to know, are there any other people that you've how many, is this your first, this won't be your first graduating class because there was a woman that you brought in on day 3. So is this your
Yeah.
second or third? Are there any other people in the Colorado or Denver area? Because it would be interesting to have another person to actually be like direct face to face, maybe practice on each other, that kind of thing.
That would be amazing. But I think you would be the first in your area. You'd be the groundbreaker in your
Okay.
area.
All
Yeah.
right.
But we've had one graduated cohort so far for this. So this coming up in September is the second cohort.
Okay. Mhm.
It's not my first rodeo.
Okay.
I've instructed over 500 therapists so far in the last 3 years. But the academy is my latest development.
Right.
And so, yeah, this is the second one that we're coming into.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, I was hoping for another Denver peep, but that's okay. I can be first.
Yeah. Well, you never know. There's still more people that I'm doing calls with. I've
All
got
right.
another like 10 or 15 calls that are booked. So you may have
Okay.
someone in your area. Yeah.
Great. All right. That
Yeah.
would be awesome. And maybe
It
I will.
would.
Yeah, it'll work out. It'll work out, whatever. I'm confident that if this is really the way forward for me, that the money stuff will happen. Like I said,
Agreed.
I have had miracles. I've
I
had
love
big
it.
miracles in my life. So
Yay.
I know that this can happen if I just, create enough mental space and openness to allow it to come in.
Agreed. Agreed. And at a later call, I'm going to want to hear about some of those miracles if you're comfortable sharing. That sounds great. I want
All
to
my
hear about those.
miracles have to, well, not all, but my most recent miracles have to do with my mastectomy and reconstruction. I actually was ready to have reconstruction, but it wasn't what I wanted. Nothing about it was what I wanted. And the universe fell in place. And the day I was supposed to be having surgery in Denver, I was on a plane to Beverly Hills and I had surgery 4 days later and it was covered by someone else. So
Wow.
it all
That is a
worked.
miracle.
It was truly a miracle. And
So amazing.
it's everything. If I had to lose my breasts, it ticked every box that I wanted for a good reconstruction. So I
Oh,
really
I
did.
got
I
goosebumps.
manifested. It was beautiful.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I'm totally covered in goosebumps. Actually, from head to toe. I've got them all the
Wow.
way down to
Okay.
my feet.
Yeah.
That's so
Okay.
amazing. I love it. All right. Well, lovely chatting with you today. Thank you so much for your time and for your interest. I really appreciate it. And also for your share. I'm sorry I didn't recognize you right off the hopper in the
It's all
call,
right.
but
Not a
I
big
really
deal.
love, yeah, I really loved your share during the program. It was very meaningful and very beautiful
I'm
and
glad
brave
because I felt
too.
like
Yeah.
I rambled.
I don't, yeah, I didn't perceive it that way at all. I thought it was
Okay.
great. Yeah.
Okay, great.
All right. Well, we will connect soon then.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for your time, Erin. I really appreciate you.
You're so welcome. Talk to you later.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.